All right, hello. I'm across two cameras, trying to follow everything and see it all. So, welcome. We're going to talk about what is the truth and versus your reality. Because so often, what I have seen is that we are really, really convinced. You can be convinced this entirely. Let me take this off so you don't glare from the light. But you're completely convinced as to that what you're experiencing, what you're seeing, that is the reality and that is the absolute truth. I'm here to tell you that isn't the case. There's a really good explanation as to why that isn't the case. So again, we're going to keep it to the 10-minute max training today. So what is the truth? Think about what is the effect that it has on everything else that goes around you, because what you're seeing as reality dictates your response. It also makes you have a reaction and a response for, but it also affects those that you're interacting with. So even that then creates a new effect, which you then respond to. So now, if you're on Instagram, you might have already been seeing this key, and I might move it over just a tad bit so we can see it on both parts. So what I want to start with is we talk about what's called the truth, right? This is just, that is what's happened. And the truth, to really be able to distinguish what is the truth, the easiest way I can describe it is if you can videotape what's happening, that would be a truth. Or, I'm not even getting into facts because we always have debates over facts. But a truth can be, right now, I'm talking. Okay? I am talking into a camera. You are hearing my voice. That is what is happening. I'm not talking about what I'm cheering, I'm not even saying what I look like, because that all can be interpreted. So the truth, all that is just what can you see, what could you videotape? So what is it that everybody could, in essence, could agree on? Now, again, in this situation, you could agree on, I'm talking into a camera, wearing a mic, right? What are the things you're seeing? I'm wearing clothes. I don't even want to go into colors because even that is subjective in the sense that everyone sees it slightly differently. So that is the truth. Now what happens is that we find ourselves in this truth and we filter it. This is something that where that reality and truth get separated. So think about it this way. Got a marker here. Show up. You have what's called essentially a lot of beliefs, a lot of things that have happened over the past however many years you've been alive, right? Even the smallest of children will have some beliefs because of an experience they've had, okay? And that becomes a filter that we look through. So I know there's people out there say, well, you've got some rose-colored glasses. That is essentially a label for looking through a specific set of thoughts, beliefs, what you have experienced. You filtered that information. And your brain does this automatically because there's so much information that comes at you in a day that your brain really can't process it. So what is it going to do? It's going to start just filtering. It's either going to generalize something information, it's going to delete specific information as it seems that it's not relevant, not important, or it could actually just simply go, okay, I'm going to distort what it means. So you're going to run through that belief part right here. Now, here's where it gets interesting, because it's in this cloud of belief that you start to react, respond, to behave towards what's happening. Okay? Now, if that happens, I'm getting excited. So if you have questions, comments, drop them below. Let me know where you're watching from so I can see where, just see where you're from. And of course, any questions, drop them in the comments. But when you get to this belief cloud, you've seen something happening. So now you have seen me talking into a camera. I'm wearing clothes. I've got a mic on. Something in you has made an interpretation of this now. And now you're going to respond. So what happens is you're going to have a response that comes out, and you're going to have every person. So let's just imagine that each of these circles is a person, is going to find a different response. Why? Because each of those people are also surrounded by their own belief clouds. So they are going to respond to your reaction. So you have filtered through, there's an action that comes out here. We just imagine this line is the action. It affects somebody else. So, for example, if I had decided that someone that I was working with, like, oh man, they are just annoying. And I've already made that assumption, or I've already made that, I'm trying to think of the word, I've already made that judgment about that person. Then I'm going to filter anything and everything that happens, any interaction, any information, any action from that person through that one single filter. And because I filtered it through that one single filter, I'm going to respond very differently, right? That person might show up with a great idea, and I'm just like, oh, for God's sakes, like literally, really, so irritating and annoying. That person's going to respond based on their truth, because then they'll go, well, you know, I had a really good idea. Why did I get that response? I don't quite understand. And that is going to lead to an action on their part. So they're going to walk away with another action, and that is going to go filtered out, and you're going to get, again, a different situation, which holds, in a sense, some other truth, but they're not real, right? Like, so we're going to say this is going to be another reality, this is going to be another reality, all based on something that might have happened up here. Because it keeps filtering through some belief clouds, and all of these beliefs that you're holding, all these stories you're telling yourself, what keeps happening is you're going to get further and further distorted. So what may have started, we'll go back to this example I said, what may have started of me talking to a camera, me wearing clothes, could lead to, well, my God, you know, I don't really think she knows what she's talking about. Or she's just got this really annoying voice. Is that information even true? Wow, you know, or even on the boss is that, wow, that's fantastic. How great is it? She knows everything that she taught. She's the absolute bomb. But those are all filtered through your own belief cloud and what you think. So that when either one of those reacts, so if you had a positive or negative reaction, they're going to go two different ways. So imagine this is a positive reaction, and here somebody has negative reaction. Well, that is going to elicit a different response. And that different response, right, goes through their filters. They're going to take a different action. So if you continue this thing, new response, again, filtering through that belief cloud, can you imagine over time how much different you can get a situation to go? All because of the beliefs that you filtered through. So this is really a big part also of my conscious elevation program, or methodology, I should say. And this is we cover this in one of the pillars, where we really talk about what is fact and fiction. Fact are things that you can see. This is the truth, right? Those are things that there aren't really debates about. You can't interpret them. Okay? So for example, the fact is somebody walked into my office. You could see the person literally walking into your office. What I have fiction is, well, they were angry coming in, or, you know, whatever story you want to create. Like, they were overwhelmed, they were just really rude as they walked in. Well, that is again your interpretation. That is again that belief cloud that's coming up for you, that's showing up. So when you decide that you need to change things around, that you want to start changing what's happening externally, you need to start looking internally towards that belief cloud and start asking yourself what's fact and fiction. It's a really fun exercise to do. Do this in a moment where you can take a step back. Okay? If you're in the heat of a battle, this is a great exercise even in the heat of battle. It just takes a lot of practice to be able to take that step back. So when you're starting out with this, dealing with what is the truth versus what's my reality, or what is my fact versus what is the fiction, that is the moment you start practicing. You can take a step back and you can be calm about it. It's also a really good exercise to do with a buddy. You can say, hey, listen, these are what I think are facts. This is what I think are fiction. Can you help me out here? Are there things that you could say, I see that differently? Well, then that means it's no longer a fact. It's gone into a fiction column. Or it's no longer a truth. It's now into my reality, my beliefs column. So let me know in the comments. I promise 10 minutes max. What you think, what your questions are. Have you had that experience? What's your filter like? What's your belief cloud like? Drop it in the comments. And I want to remind you, next week, Wednesday, same time, 11:30 Central European Time, we'll be going live again. And this time we're going to be talking about willpower. You shouldn't trust willpower implicitly. So I'm going to leave it to you there. So make sure to drop in and join again next Wednesday, same time, another 10-minute little tidbit. You can find things there. Now, if you're going, oh, Kim, I really want to take this a level deeper, then please drop me a message. Just DM me, ready, and we'll just start a conversation and see where you're at with your fact versus fiction, your truth versus reality. All right? Thank you so much for joining and watching, and we'll talk to you again next week.